Hi, in this video I want to give you a quick tour of some websites that you can visit to download geographic data like we used in the previous assignment. So here we go. We're going to go and search for Kitchener Open Data. Now many cities are following this strategy of making their data available to the general public. So if you go to this website, it talks a little bit about where the data or how it's being made available. And you can go ahead and say Explore. Provides you with a user interface to explore the available data that they have. So we can search, we can look by category, different types of data that they might be making available. What I'd like to do here is just look for the tree inventory data set that we used in the previous assignment. And you can see here that if I just click on this tree inventory data, you can see that that same information that we downloaded is available right here. See the attribute table. You can start to see the actual data if we zoom in here. Eventually, as we zoom in close enough, you'll start to see the points of each tree. And that's what that looks like, right? So the same data that we just used. Now you can go ahead and you can download this data in a spreadsheet, KML, or shapefile format. You can filter it while you're on the website here and just download a subset if you wish. But just so you know, that's where that data came from. We just went ahead and said download the entire shapefile, and that was the tree inventory that we used. Okay, so that's one quick way to show you where you can get data. Another site I'd like to visit is just, we'll go way up to the federal government level, and I'm going to search for the keyword of GeoGratis. Now, GeoGratis has been a program for a long time where Canadian spatial data has been being made available freely to the general public. There's some sort of historical things here, and then there's some new initiatives, one being this open government website. I'll just quickly show you some of the historical stuff. This is in transition right now, so it may or may not be visible when you go to look. But if we go ahead and open that web page, you'll see that there's a nice web mapping interface. And what it does is shows you all of the geographic data that is available. And what's nice about this is you have the same type of data all across the whole country. Obviously that trees data set we had was just for the city of Kitchener. And we're kind of at the whim of whether a municipality is collecting that type of data. But for having data that's available for the entire country, going up to this level of GeoGratis is a nice one. Now, we can go ahead and you can turn on and off additional layers. We can look at the same area and see this data that's here. In addition to that, you could actually go and download these features. So you could get like the buildings footprints, you could get the roads data, and anything you see in this map you can get as points, lines, or polygons. Now to get at that, you can go and, well, I guess the cleanest way now is they're pointing us at this open government portal. So we'll just do that. And we'll click on that link. It'll take us out to this open government portal. And what it does now is it filters the giant list of Canadian data and just uses a keyword of CanVec, which is that product name that shows all those vector points, lines, and polygons data sets of Canada. So yeah, at this point we can go ahead and we can download the lakes, the elevation data, etc. Right? Anything you see here. Now, they also have them available as shapefiles and as a few other formats. We can go ahead and I'll just click on this administrative boundaries one. And you can see they really have tried to make the data available in whatever way that makes sense for you as a user. In our case, what we were looking for are these shapefiles, right? That's what we used. Now, other formats would work. We could look at this file geodatabase. KMZ. Now in this case it's just showing an index, so it's just giving us a boundary, not the actual features. And then there's an interesting things called web mapping services. Now what I want to do here is just go and quickly show you that we can go and say access, and this looks perhaps a bit intimidating if you're not used to seeing traditional FTP servers where they have files made available to you. But what this is getting at is if I want to download all the administrative boundaries for the province of Ontario as a single shapefile, we can go ahead and click on this download here, and we would have those boundaries in one shapefile. If we wanted boundaries for the entire country, we could go up to a more generalized data set where we could get all the administrative boundaries at this level. So it's just really up to you as to whether you want to explore this type of data or not, but it's worth knowing that it's there. Okay, a couple more sources of data that you might be interested in at some point are some more community-based efforts. So people out in the geospatial community are working hard to try to get data available for people to work with. So there's an organization, or actually a group of people, working together to build something called OpenStreetMap. And if we go ahead and search for Kitchener or Waterloo or whatever, you'll zoom right in and you'll see data. Now, a lot of this data that's actually in this map came from that Canvec product because that data was made freely available. But what's nice with this OpenStreetMap concept is you can contribute to it and edit it and add features to your heart's content. You can add pretty much any details you would want to add to it, and perhaps even more useful perhaps even more interesting if you want to just make maps, is you can take the actual data that you see here and export it quite easily out to a file that something like QGIS could read. So if we just went ahead and saved that, all the points, lines, and polygons that you see in here would be available in a file that we could open within QGIS and then make a map of that data that meets our needs. All right, so one more I want to show you is naturalearth.com, naturalearthdata.com. And what this is more not as detailed data, but it's data that's appropriate for scales where you're making maps of continents or the entire world. And again, this is another community effort where people have gathered or assembled data that is available in the public domain, meaning it's freely available. And what they've done is cleaned up the data and worked very hard to create a consistent set of points, lines, and polygons that you can use to make really nice maps of the world. In addition to the points, lines, and polygons, they've also created or sourced raster data. And what I mean by raster data is if you are familiar at all, or you're soon to be familiar with things like elevation surfaces or shaded relief, those types of data sets that make a really nice base map. So they've sourced data like that as well that we can use. And so we'll take advantage of some of this natural earth data later in the course as we make some maps. So that's it. That's a really quick tour of where you can go to find some data on the web. Something you will be able to explore on your own and throughout your map making process in the future.